47 meters down.
How's it going, everyone? With the upcoming 47 Meters Down 2 Uncaged coming out next month, I thought, why not sit down and watch 47 Meters Down? I've only seen this movie once when it came out to Redbox, and I saw it again today, and let me tell you, I was blown away. This movie is directed by Johannes Roberts, who directed Strangers Prey at Night and Hellbreeder. He's come a long way from making shitty movies. This movie also stars Claire Holt and Mandy Moore, and they are great in this film. They are the best part of this movie. It's not the sharks, it's the characters. This movie is about these two sisters that go to Mexico for a vacation, and the one girl, Lisa, just got out of a relationship with her boyfriend, and she wants to make him jealous. So she's gonna go to Mexico with her sister, take pictures, make him jealous, Instagram, like, I'm having a good time, too bad you're not. But when they go to have that fun, awesome adventure, going shark caging, or whatever that activity is called, they go in a cage with the sharks, and then the wire snaps, and they fall 47 meters down. Now they're trapped at the bottom of the ocean with 3 sharks. That's right, 3, not 1, not the typical 1 shark like all those Jaws movies. We got 3 in this one. But not only are there sharks that are a threat, but the lack of oxygen is a threat, and if they don't get to the surface in time, or if help doesn't come by in time, they're gonna die one way or another. Starting off with all the positives, I just kind of briefly touched base on a few of them. One, we got multiple sharks. I like that. Just increases the threat, and I love that this movie doesn't even focus on them. It focuses on the characters. The sharks are always in the shadows. You don't see them up close too much, but when you do, it's towards the end, and it's worth it. This movie has a payoff, unlike Jaws 2. Yes, it's CGI sharks, but the visual effects are pretty good. It's hit or miss in some spots, but overall, it's pretty good. I love the sister dynamic. You got the one sister who's adventurous, and you got the one who's shy and asks questions, like, we shouldn't do this. And she's the one that's, like, suspicious of going on this little shark cage thing, and she's the one being the smart one, in my opinion, asking questions like, we shouldn't be doing this. This seems kind of shady. But I love their chemistry together, especially when you got 2 great actresses performing these characters. It just makes it even better. I also just love the settings and the set locations when they're in Mexico, all that stuff. It's beautiful scenery, beautiful water. It's a beautiful ocean that they go to. I also really like the directing in this movie. The director shoots like the actors' faces up close, and it just feels cramped. It's an isolated setting. It might get boring for some people just being down there at the bottom of the ocean, the same location for like an hour, but they do things to change it up, and they just go to this part, they go to this, like, in this gap in the rocks, this little lacuna, to throw a big word in here, this gap, and then like the shark's trying to get them there, then they go out, one of them goes out over this big old fucking like cliff, and she can't see below her, or 360. The tension building in this movie is unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. There's so much tension building. There's so many moments where you're like, all right, shark's gonna pop up, and just seconds go by and nothing happens, and that shit happens a lot in this movie, and you just keep waiting for it to happen, but they hold back, and I love that. This movie just like lets your imagination go wild. You're like, it's gonna come, it's gonna happen, and then it doesn't. But I think the director did a phenomenal job. This movie has a great pace, even though it's isolated. I never really got bored. It just feels very claustrophobic the way it's framed, and just up close in their faces, you can feel the panic. And I'm not sure what would be worse, being eaten by a shark or just drowning, because those are both on my list of worst ways to die. I love the premise of this movie. It's very unique. It's great that we're finally getting good shark movies, because everyone's always asking, like, when are we gonna get good shark movies? Jaws was like the last great shark movie, and then finally we got like Deep Blue Sea in like 1999, and then after that there was a great period again where no great shark movies came out, and finally we got The Shallows and 47 Meters Down. Shark Night was corny, but okay. But yes, this is a great shark movie, especially post-millennia, like post-2000s. This is the best shark movie you can find. This movie is also very informative. I learned some stuff. In my Jaws 2 review, I couldn't think of that thing that happens when you go up in the water too quick. The nitrogen bubbles that go in your brain. It's called the bends. So, just want to throw that out there. And then there's this thing where, like, if you use too much oxygen, like you go through one tank and you grab another, you can get, like, a nitrogen narcosis and start hallucinating, and they use that as a plot device, like, that idea, and like you kind of forget about it, and then there's a twist at the end. This is a shark movie with a little twist. You don't get that in shark movies. But I believe the first time I saw this, I already heard what the twist was, so it kind of ruined it for me. So when I watched it, I was like, well, it kind of seems obvious. They told you what was going to happen. Now let's go over my nitpicks, because that's really what they are. I don't have major criticisms for this movie, because I thought it was great. Now, first up, I just want to throw out, this movie has a cliche party montage. I always find them funny and corny, like, oh, here's the party montage. But here's the question I have. All right, I could be wrong, but how the hell can they hear each other? This whole movie, they're speaking to each other, and their ears are just in the ocean. Like, they got a head thing on their face, and they're speaking through it somehow. But isn't it hard to hear people underwater, especially when the entire ocean is just like all the water's getting in your ears? They didn't have like ear goggles so they could like earpieces or anything. That was never established. How the fuck can they hear each other?
This is amazing. It kind of takes your breath away. Oh my god. Like the biggest shark. You take a picture of me? Sorry.
I want to nitpick the fact that Lisa, or Kate, it was Kate. Kate didn't even take Javier's tank when he died. He died right there. She grabbed like the flares and she grabbed like a harpoon gun or something. And then she left the tank. Even though they were both running low on oxygen. What the fuck? Come on. And did this boat have one-size-fits-all suits? Like, they go there on the boat, and they already had, like, 2 suits for women that fit them perfectly? I have to call BS, unless they just somehow knew their size, and scuba suits just adjust, one size fits all. This movie rips off The Shallows with the text messages on the screen. The Shallows came out before this. There's a scene where Kate takes off her mask completely, and then puts it back on, and there's no water inside the mask. Bullshit. How the fuck does she do that magic? Is there a thing in the mask where, like, somehow, like, sucks the water out? Like in those submarines, where the room, like, fills up and, like, goes down? How the fuck does she do that? Anytime I went swimming, and I had goggles on, I couldn't even put the fucking thing on, because then it's just, there's water in my eyes. And how come Kate's oxygen was running out 20 times faster than Lisa, when Lisa was the panicky one, constantly hyperventilating, but yet hers was like double the oxygen bar than Kate's? Maybe it was because Kate went up a couple of times. Does that decrease it more? I don't know. But that's really it. Those are my little nitpicks and questions that I have about what the fuck, how do you explain that? So if you have answers, let me know. But overall, I gotta say, when it comes to 47 Meters Down, that this movie is great. So go out and buy it. What did you think about 47 Meters Down? Are you excited about this upcoming one where it's going to be in like a cave and there's like a Mayan city lost underground or something? Looks interesting. Can't wait to see it. I'm not going to set my expectations too high because it could be shit. But post your thoughts of this movie in the comments below. What's your favorite shark movie of all time besides Jaws? Hit this like button over here to show your support for this video. And you can follow me on social media. I got Twitter and Instagram and whatever the other one is. But most importantly, if you haven't subscribed, you can do so just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, I'll be you soon.